Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kurnia Ramadhani, and today I'm going to tell you about the summary of The Great Gatsby from chapter 7 to chapter 9. Chapter 7. In these chapters, we can see that Gatsby is overprotective to Daisy. It could be seen on how Gatsby is fired all of his butlers and change it with someone who didn't like to gossiping. It is to protect Daisy because Daisy is always come to his mansion every afternoon. One day, Gatsby and Nick were invited to come to Daisy's house to having a lunch. Daisy said that Jordan Baker, Nick's affair, will be attended to that lunch too. Gatsby then come with Nick to the East Egg. At that time, when Tom is accepting the call from the city, Daisy was getting closer to Gatsby and kissed him in the mouth, in front of Jordan and Nick. She wants to proclaim her relationship with Gatsby. After that call, Tom is back and see that Gatsby and Daisy is having an affair, about how they look into each other's eyes. Daisy then asks all of them to go to the city. Daisy and Gatsby were driving with Tom's car, while Tom, Nick, and Jordan were driving to the city with Gatsby's car. On their way, Tom is stopped at Wilson's garage to pump up some gas. Wilson then said to Tom that his wife is having an affair with another man. It made Tom panicking because he doesn't want to lose her wife and also his mistress at the same time. At the city, they rent some room in a hotel. Tom kept provoking Gatsby and makes Gatsby feel anxious until he said that Daisy never loved Tom. After some debating that happened to us, Tom then asks Gatsby to driving Daisy's home. Then Gatsby and Daisy were driving home with Gatsby's car, and Tom, Nick, and Jordan were driving with Tom's car. On their way, Tom, Nick, and Jordan was saying Myrtle is already dead on the road, bleeding. It makes Tom felt creepier about how he could lose Myrtle. After arriving at the Buchanan's home, Nick went out to the garden and saw that Gatsby is hiding behind the bushes. Gatsby then explained that the one who killed Myrtle is Daisy. Chapter 8. Morning after the accident, Nick come to Gatsby mansion. He met Gatsby and tell him to leave the West Egg for a while. But Gatsby didn't want to leave the city because he doesn't want to leave Daisy. Gatsby then tells Nick about his history with Daisy. Gatsby said that before he went to the war, he and Daisy was making love, and it makes Gatsby felt that they are already married. And when Gatsby get back from the war, Daisy and Tom is already getting married and going to the honeymoon. At a different place, George Wilson felt very sad because his wife died and think it was murdered. Because of that, he asked all of people that known Myrtle. And when he asked Tom said that the one who killed Myrtle is Gatsby. And George Wilson think that God need and want a revenge. On that day, he came to the Gatsby mansion and saw Gatsby was swimming in his swimming pool. He brings some guns and shoot Gatsby while he was resting in his swimming pool, and then killed himself by shooting his mouth. Nick tried to call Gatsby, but no one is answering his call. So that's why he come early from his work and come to Gatsby's house and see the body on the swimming pools bleeding really bad. Nick's trying to call Daisy to inform about Gatsby's condition, but Daisy doesn't care. Ironically, Daisy never felt the same. He never felt like what she and Gatsby felt before 5 years ago. And it makes Nick sad because of that. And he is panicking and then break up with Jordan. Chapter 9. Nick's trying to call all of Gatsby's friends to come to his funeral, but all of them disappear and disappointed. Nick's tries once again to call Daisy's, but Daisy and Tom is already leave East Egg and living an empty house. So on Gatsby's funeral, there's only Nick Carraway, some of Gatsby butlers, and Gatsby's father. Gatsby's father tells Nick about Gatsby history. After some times, Nick then met Tom at New York City. Tom said that he is the one who told George Wilson that Gatsby is killed Myrtle. Nick is living in shock, and then Tom said that Gatsby is deserved to be dead. Nick felt that he is talking to a child who will take a revenge when his toys is taken. After that, Nick is going home and go to Gatsby's house, looking like how empty the house was. And he go to where Gatsby is usually looking at the green light from Daisy's house. After all the things that happened around him, Nick is decided to leave West Egg to go to the Middle West. Say goodbye to Jordan and leaving all the memories that happened to him when he lived in West Egg. The end.